करते हैं, देन फिर 14 डेज और फिर 21 डेज, ऐसा 3 माइलस्टोन हमने रखे हैं. सो दोज हु कंप्लीट 7 days कैन वोट फॉर 7 days ऐसा. चलिए, नाउ वी आर लाइव. ओके, आई एम शेयरिंग माय स्क्रीन टुडे. We are on day 9 of Excel challenge, and today we are going to discuss about lookup functions. It is one of the most important function in Excel because you can find any information from using these functions. So I have created a small task, actually not given a challenge in this particular file, but I will share it in the group afterwards. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen and then we will discuss information from using these functions. So I have created a small. Okay, so I guess now you can see my screen. My Excel is visible to everyone. Can you confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here we have master data. This is the master data of employees. So we have employee ID, prefix, first name, middle name, last name, gender, email ID, father's name, mother's maiden name, date of joining, salary, state, city, zip, and region. Now, from this table, what I want is I want to derive some particular information for a particular employee, and for that we are going to use lookup functions. Okay, so what is the use of lookup function? Lookup function is used whenever you want to find out any particular information from a set of data. So here we have a data, employee data, and in the sheet lookup one we have one case study where we want to find out the salary based on the email ID of the employee, also the email ID based on the email of the employee. In the second sheet, we have employee ID, and from the employee ID, we want to find out employee first name, middle initial, and the last name. So first, I'm going to start with lookup 2, okay, and then I'm going to come back to lookup 1, okay. So this sheet is having all the data. From this sheet, we want to derive the data in this particular sheet, okay. So there are different ways of doing it, but the most commonly used way is lookup. So I'm going to show you that, and then we are going to look into index and match also and other things also. Okay. So now, first things first. So employee ID we have. From the employee ID, we want to find out the employee first name. So C column, we want to derive the information from this column. And this we already have. So the first function that I'm going to teach you today is the lookup function. So we will just type in lookup. It is not VLOOKUP, only lookup. So what it says that lookup a value either from a single row or a single column range or from an array provided for backward compatibility. Okay, now what it is saying that it will look for any value. It will look for a value from a single row or a single column or a range or array of data. So we will open the bracket is equal to lookup value. So what is the lookup value? Lookup value is this email ID, comma, lookup vector and result vector. Okay. Now what is the lookup vector? Lookup vector means that column which is having the lookup value. So we will select this employee ID column because this has all the employee IDs, comma. Then in the lookup result vector, what you'll do, you will select the first name because you want to type the first name, and let's see what do we get. So from this employee ID, we have derived Horace. That was the first name. Now, when I have to copy paste this formula, what correction I need to do in this formula? Tell me. So we have used lookup. First field is lookup value. Second is lookup vector. That means which column? The column which has all the employee ID, and result vector, the column which has the first name. Now, before copying this in all the cells, what correction I need to do in the formula? Anyone who would like to answer? क्या चेंज करना पड़ेगा हमें? Those who have attended the previous days, previous sessions, they might know this answer, what I'm asking. So Chetan has answered A3 and A8 to be fixed. A28. Okay. Yes. So A3 to A28 has to be fixed. So we will freeze this basically. So what is the shortcut key to be used to freeze the cell range? A3 to A28. Answer in the chat box. What is the shortcut key to be used to freeze the references? F3 or F4? F4. Correct. Harish, you're right. F4 is the key. And we need to freeze this also, C3 to C28. So this also we will freeze. We will use F4 again, one more time here. Correct. And now we can copy this. We can drag it and we get all the employee names. Okay. We are getting all the employee name. So this is how we can use the sorry lookup function. This I've done using the lookup. So I will just name it here lookup function. Okay, so here I have used lookup. Now, second, middle initial. This I want to do. I will use VLOOKUP for this case. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use VLOOKUP here. And for the third, last time we will use some other function. We will use XLOOKUP. So I will cover 3 lookups in this particular case study. Okay, and then in the next case study, I will show you index and match, how to use other functions of lookup. So now, instead of the first name, we want to find out the middle initial. Okay. Now, if you see middle initial is just after the first name, and we want to have the base as employee ID. So now let me write down the formula for VLOOKUP. Lookup value remains the same, that is employee ID C3 comma. Now when we were using lookup functions, it was lookup value was same, दोनों में पहला पैरामीटर सेम था, बट उधर पूछा था उसने lookup vector, यहाँ पे पूछ रहा है table array. Now my question to everyone who is present and who is watching this, what should we select in the table array? Table array में क्या होना चाहिए बताइए? Shall we select the entire table or only the columns which are required? What should be selected in the table array? Complete table. Chetan says complete table. So let us select the complete table. I will go to master data. How do I select the complete table? Can I press some shortcut keys? Rahul says column required. So both the answers are correct. We can select the entire table also, as well as the columns which are required. So what I'm doing is I'm just selecting the entire table for the time being. So lookup, and this is the lookup value, comma. I am going to this sheet and I'm selecting the entire sheet, excluding the headings, not including the headings, excluding the headings, comma. Okay, so now what should we write next? Next, what is they are asking? Sorry, VLOOKUP I have to select. So VLOOKUP and lookup value table array and column index number. So what should I write in the column index number? What number I should write in the column index number? बताइए. What should I write in the column index number? Practice file I'm sharing again. Just give me one moment. I will share the practice file again. Lookup function. Okay, so I've shared the practice file again. You can now check. Those who do not have can download it. So yes, guys, what should I write in the column index number? What should I write in the column index number? So we have written lookup value master data, that is your table index. Now, what should I mention in the table column index number? So column index means the column which will have the value initial. So it is column number C, but it is asking for number. So I cannot write C. What should I write instead of C? Number 3. Okay, so we will write column index number. Column number is column number 3, comma. Okay, column number 3 I will have to write down here, comma. Then it is asking for approximate match or exact match. We always go with exact match, so we'll write a false over here and close the bracket and press enter. So what do we get here is Horace. So I think it should be 4, not 3. Yeah. So from this column, it is fourth column is the middle initial, not column C, column D it is actually. So we wanted middle initial. So we will have to put 4 and we get G. And now we get all the initials. Okay. But here also we have to freeze the range. This range we need to freeze. Correct. And then we will get the right answers. Yes, it is 4 for everyone. It is 4 for everyone. So middle initial. I hope everyone has understood lookup function. If you want me to repeat, you can write down repeat in the chat box. Else, I will move to the last name. If someone wants me to explain it again, you can write down repeat in the chat box. So if let's first select the lookup value, then the table, and then column index number, and then false. Instead of false, we could have written 0 also. That will also be good. Okay. So now let us come to the last name. How do we find out the last name? So same formula, or in this particular case, I'm going to use X lookup. X lookup works only with 365. So if you are not having 365, you'll not be able to use X lookup. In that case, you can use V lookup only. And instead of giving 4, you can write down 5 over here. It will give you the same answer, right answer. Okay. Fifth column is having the last name. So now what we will do, we will use X lookup is equal to X lookup value. This is the lookup value, comma, lookup array. So now it is not asking for table array, it is asking for lookup array. So what should I select in the lookup array? Tell me. What should I select in the lookup array? What should be there in the lookup array? लुकअप एरे में क्या होना चाहिए? F5. F5? Why F5? Lookup array. Vedika, you're there? Akshat, Adisha, those who know lookup functions, they can answer. Lookup array, I'm asking. Lookup array is C3. But lookup value is C3. Lookup array, F3 क्यों? ये जो एम्प्लॉय आईडी है, ये कहाँ ढूंढना है हमें? कौन से कॉलम में ढूंढना है? एम्प्लॉय आईडी कहाँ है? So we have to select that particular column. Yes, column number 5. Column number 5. No, we need to go to the, we need to select this column number 1 from column number 1 from master data. We will select column number 1 from master data, and that will be our lookup array. So we will select column number employee ID from the master data. That will be a lookup array. And in the return array, what should I select? The last name column. In the written array, I should select the last name column from where I want the result, comma. Now, after that, if not found, if the value that we're looking for is not found, then what result we want? So we want nothing, a blank, and we want to have exact match. So we'll put a 0 and close the bracket. And here we get the last name. And again, I need to freeze these two ranges, this and this, and drag this down. Okay. So we have all the surnames. So I hope everyone has understood XLOOKUP. What is the difference between XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP? Okay, a very good question, and a lot of difference is there in XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. Let me show you what is the difference between XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. So, see, in XLOOKUP, Chetan has also asked the same question. Let me answer this question for everyone. Okay. So, see, both are doing the same work. Both are doing the same work. But in VLOOKUP, what we do is we select the entire table, then we have to look for the column number in which we have our resultant value. But in case of XLOOKUP, we don't have to look for the column number. We can just select the particular column. Okay, now suppose if in the master data, if I do some changes in the table, okay, suppose I add two more columns. Now see what happens in the result. What do you see in the middle initial now? What values do you see in the middle initials now? मिडिल इनिशियल में आपको क्या दिखाई दे रहा है बताइए. Do you all see 0 there? Now why 0? Answer change. Correct. Answer has changed. Why the answer has changed? Because now it is it is taking the value from fourth column of the table. And if you see the table, the fourth column is blank. This is column number 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth column is blank. इसलिए वो 0 दिखा रहा है. ठीक है. बट एक्स लुकअप का आंसर चेंज हुआ क्या? एक्स लुकअप का आंसर चेंज हुआ या नहीं हुआ? X lookup answer does not change. Why it does not change? Can anyone tell me why it does not change? Because we did not give any column index. We did not give any column number. We had selected that particular column only which has the result. So now have you understood what is the difference between X lookup and V lookup? And which one is better? Which one is better? Correct. X is always better. How can we know where to use VLOOKUP, lookup, XLOOKUP, or and what if we older versions of work can be done from lookup or not? See, these are three different functions. In Excel, when you have to do something, there are many multiple ways of doing it. But the beauty is to understand which method to use. Okay. So there is one thumb rule कि कौन सा फॉर्मूला हम काम में लें या कौन सा तरीका काम में लें, तो उसका एक ही थंब रूल है जो आप जिसके साथ कंफर्टेबल हो प्लस जो सबसे इफेक्टिव हो एंड इजी हो. ठीक है. विच इज वेरी एफिशिएंट. तो वो वाला फॉर्मूला हमें काम में लेना चाहिए. तो व्हेन वी कंपेयर लुकअप फंक्शंस, वी लुकअप एंड एक्स लुकअप, the best function to use is XLOOKUP because it is compatible and it is easier also. ठीक है. और उसमें ग्लिचेस भी नहीं आते हैं. तो यहाँ पर अगर मैंने ये कॉलम अगर डिलीट कर दिए, अब जो पहले जैसा था वैसा बना देता हूँ डेटा को. नाउ यू विल गेट द करेक्ट आंसर बिकॉज द फोर कॉलम इज हैविंग दिस. ठीक है. यहाँ पर अगर मुझे ये सेम फॉर्मूला कॉपी करना होता मिडिल इनिशियल का जो वी लुकअप वाला था, तो मुझे यहाँ पे नंबर 5 लिखना पड़ता. ठीक है. बट अगर मुझे सैलरी निकालनी होगी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई वांट टू फाइंड आउट द सैलरी दैट इज इन कॉलम नंबर एल, Then I need to find out the column number of the salary and I need to put it over here. Then only I can find out. But when I'm using XLOOKUP, I need not worry about the column number. I can directly select the salary column and the salary will come. For example, मैं आपको show करता हूँ यहाँ पर what I'm saying. So I will just write down salary over here. यहाँ मैंने लिखा सैलरी, ठीक है, और सैलरी के बाद वी वांट टू फाइंड आउट द सैलरी फ्रॉम द एम्प्लॉय आईडी। तो यहाँ पे हम लिखते हैं एक्स लुकअप। आई एम गोइंग टू यूज एक्स लुकअप ओनली। लेट मी जस्ट इंक्रीज द फॉन्ट एज वेल। ठीक है, तो मैं फॉन्ट इंक्रीज कर देता हूँ। ठीक है, नाउ आई विल अप्लाई लुकअप फंक्शंस ओवर हियर। एक्स लुकअप। नाउ आई वांट टू फाइंड आउट द सैलरी ऑफ द फर्स्ट एम्प्लॉय हॉरिस। तो उसका ईमेल आईडी मैंने लिया, कॉमा लगाया, लुकअप एरे। नाउ व्हाट इज द लुकअप एरे? लुकअप एरे मींस द कॉलम व्हिच हैज द एम्प्लॉय आईडी। तो आई एम सिलेक्टिंग दिस एज द एम्प्लॉय आईडी कॉलम। ये मैंने ले लिया यहाँ पे, कॉमा लगाया अगेन, एंड देन इट इज आस्किंग फॉर return array. In the return array I want salary, so I will put down salary in the return array. Okay, comma, then all these which are appearing in square brackets are not compulsory, so we can just end up the formula over here. हम बिना कुछ लिखे फॉर्मूला यही खत्म कर सकते हैं। तो हमारे को पहले एम्प्लॉय का क्या मिल गया? सैलरी मिल गया। ठीक है, वी हैव गॉट द एम्प्लॉय द सैलरी फॉर द फर्स्ट एम्प्लॉय। ठीक है, सो बेसिकली वी हैव गॉट द सैलरी फॉर द फर्स्ट एम्प्लॉय। नाउ अगेन आई विल फ्रीज दिस। अगर आप चाहते हैं कि बार बार फ्रीज ना करना पड़े, तो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन कन्वर्ट द डेटा इनटू व्हाट, you can convert the data into a table and you can give a name to that table and refer to the table range. Then you will not have to freeze this data. Now we have got the salary also. ठीक है, तो x lookup is any day better than x lookup, v lookup or lookup function, and it is easier to use also. ठीक है, अगर हमारे को v lookup लगाना होता तो हमें यहाँ पे ढूंढना पड़ता सैलरी। ठीक है, दूसरा एक और लिमिटेशन है v lookup का। Got the reference. Thank you. Okay, great. So now there is one more limitation of VLOOKUP. What is that? It can
Yes,
apply.
sir.
It can be applied only from left to right. ठीक है, it cannot work the other way. For example, if I have been given employee email ID and I want to find out the employee ID, is it possible using VLOOKUP? So if you see the master data, employee ID is in column number 6 or 7 rather. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, दिस इज कॉलम नंबर 7। ठीक है, तो ईमेल आईडी जो है वो कॉलम नंबर 7 में है और हमसे पूछा गया है कि आप एम्प्लॉय का आईडी निकाल के बताइए वहां से, वो कॉलम नंबर 1 में है। ठीक है, नाउ व्हेन वी हैव टू गिव कॉलम इंडेक्स नंबर, कैन आई गिव अ नेगेटिव नंबर? कैन आई गिव अ नंबर इन रिवर्स सीक्वेंस? वी कैन नॉट डू दैट। ठीक है, लेट मी शो यू। Let us apply VLOOKUP and see if it is possible. And can lookup do that? तो अगर मैं lookup function लगाता हूँ तो उससे हो जाएगा क्या, वो भी देख लेते हैं। So I will first try to find out the employee ID. So I am writing lookup functions, lookup, and this is the lookup value, comma, lookup vector. I will select the email ID वाला column. It will be the lookup vector, comma, the result vector. तो result vector हमारा employee ID है। And I'm getting NA. Getting it? I'm getting NA. So why I'm getting NA, anyone? Why I'm getting NA? यहाँ रिजल्ट क्यों नहीं आया? I had selected the employee ID and I had selected the email ID. So from the basis of email ID, I wanted to find out the employee ID, but I'm not able to do so. पहले वाले का नहीं आया, दूसरे का आ गया, तीसरे का आ गया, ये वाला नहीं आ रहा है। What could be the reason? Email ID is present in the database. ईमेल आईडी तो है। Lookup value is before the required column. Then why did we get the answer in the second case? यहाँ भी तो मुझे मिला है आंसर, ये वाला आंसर भी तो मिला है मुझे from the same formula. Why I'm not getting the answer for this? Format of email ID. Okay. So what is wrong with the format? I don't think so. There is some problem with the format. Let me just copy this and paste it in the database. देखिए, this email ID is there, but it is there twice. ये दो जगह पर email ID है. bob.wiz जो है दो जगह पे है, इसलिए इसने इसको नहीं निकाला. ठीक है. If I highlight it, you will be able to see this properly. So let me highlight this and this. This email ID is there at two places. Correct? So it did not give us the result. Similarly, what about the next one? Doris, इसका अगर हम चेक करें तो ये भी एक, ये तो एक ही है. ठीक है. दिस इज ओनली एट वन प्लेस. दिस Doris is here, so it should have given us this result. Okay, but why I'm not getting this result? Let us put the formula again. Lookup value, lookup value is this, comma, lookup vector is this, comma, result vector is this. Close the bracket, enter. I'm getting an NA. Now let me apply VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. This is the lookup value, comma. Now what should I do with the table? What should I select in the table? अगर lookup कर रहे हैं तो हमको ये table select करनी पड़ेगी. Table मैंने पूरी select कर ली. Now what should I give in the lookup? The column ID. तो column ID should be what? अगर मैं 1 लिखता हूँ यहाँ पर, see what will happen. I'm still getting a NA. I'm still getting a NA. So even this lookup and VLOOKUP is not giving proper result. Now let us try using XLOOKUP in this particular case. Okay. Let us try using the XLOOKUP. This is the lookup value, comma, lookup array. So lookup array will be the column of email ID, comma, the employee ID is the resultant array, and close the bracket. Have I got the answer now? 118109. तो जो आप कह रहे थे कि फॉर्मेट ठीक नहीं है, वो तो नहीं था गड़बड़. यहाँ पर फॉर्मेट तो बिल्कुल ठीक है और आंसर आ भी रहा है. But I'm not able to get the answer using lookup and VLOOKUP. So now have you understood the difference between the three functions, that is lookup, VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP, and why XLOOKUP is better than both of these? Have you got the answer, everyone? Those 10 people who are there in the meeting today. Have you all understood? Any doubt, anyone? Got it. Okay. What about others? Adisha, Akshat, Chetan, Anil, Anand. If you can hear me, can you put a yes? Yes. Okay, great. चलिए. So now let us find out the salary. सैलरी निकालते हैं. ठीक है. और सैलरी के लिए भी क्या होगा? ईमेल आईडी के आगे वाले कॉलम में है सैलरी. ठीक है. ईमेल आगे, ईमेल वाले से आगे वाले कॉलम में है. बट कैन आई यूज VLOOKUP नाउ टू फाइंड आउट द सैलरी? कैन आई यूज VLOOKUP from email ID, the salary is towards the right. Can I use the VLOOKUP formula to find out the salary? Yes or no in the chat box. बताइए. Can we use the VLOOKUP function to find out the salary based on the email ID? क्या हम सैलरी निकाल पाएंगे ईमेल आईडी के बेसिस पे, जबकि हमारा जो सैलरी है वो राइट में है फ्रॉम द ईमेल आईडी? विल आई बी एबल टू फाइंड आउट दैट, यस और नो? आई एम वेटिंग फॉर एन आंसर, then I will proceed with the function. Yes, Harish says yes. What about Kashish and other people? आप लोग को क्या लगता है, क्या हम सैलरी निकाल पाएंगे ईमेल आईडी से? What column number I will need to give from the for the salary? No. Chetan says no. अच्छा, क्यों नहीं निकाल पाएंगे? Why? Why? Because the email ID is not in the first column of the table. It is into the middle of the table, correct? VLOOKUP में क्या होता है कि जो लुकअप वैल्यू है वो फर्स्ट कॉलम होनी चाहिए, करेक्ट? बट ऐसा कहीं किसी ने मना किया है कि आप इसको फर्स्ट कॉलम मानते हुए, टेबल का फर्स्ट कॉलम मानते हुए और यहीं से टेबल स्टार्ट कर दो? अगर मैं इतना ही सेलेक्ट करूं और फिर मैं इसको फर्स्ट कॉलम अज्यूम कर लूं और सेकेंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ, फिर सिक्स्थ नंबर का दूं कॉलम रेफरेंस, तो क्या सैलरी नहीं आएगी चेतन? Will I not derive the salary? It will, correct? So that is what we need to understand कि how to use the formula to our benefit. ठीक है, तो हम करते हैं we look up. This is the lookup value, comma, table array. Table array we will select from here. This is the table array, comma, column reference number 6, 0, and close the bracket. We got the first salary, and similarly we will find out the remaining salaries also. ठीक है, तो ये सबकी सैलरी आ गई है, एक की नहीं आई है, इसकी गेल डॉट रॉड्रिक्यूज। कॉपी करते हैं इसको और चेक करते हैं कि क्या प्रॉब्लम हो गई यहाँ पर। See, we don't have this email ID, इसलिए नहीं आई, तो it is not present in the database. That is why we have not found this salary for this. ठीक है, but I don't want this to show me this NA. ठीक है, इसकी जगह पे मुझे ये मैसेज चाहिए कि द ईमेल आईडी इज नॉट प्रेजेंट या डेटा इज नॉट प्रेजेंट. व्हाट शुड आई डू फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर केस? बताइए, व्हाट शुड आई डू फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर केस इफ आई डोंट वांट टू गेट एनी एज अ रिजल्ट, इफ द वैल्यू इज नॉट अवेलेबल? अगर वैल्यू नहीं है तो एनए नहीं आना चाहिए, एनए की जगह ये लिखा हुआ है कि वैल्यू नहीं है, तो उसके लिए क्या करेंगे? व्हाट शुड आई डू? और ये मैंने बताया अपने प्रीवियस सेशंस में. इफ फंक्शन अप्लाई करेंगे, इफ एरर अप्लाई करेंगे, यस वी कैन यूज इफ एरर, करेक्ट हरीश? Last we can write na. No, in the last we cannot write na. If we were using x lookup, then we could have written na over there, but in v lookup it does not give any option to write na anywhere. Okay, so what we will do is we will use if error in front of this, in before this function, and we will put a comma at the end, and then we will write value not available, and we will get this result instead of na. Getting it? Okay, so what we did today is we had seen three functions. Basically, one is lookup, second one is vlookup, and third one is xlookup. Now in the lookup family there is one more function which is called as hlookup, which is very rarely used. But it is to be used when you have your data in a horizontal manner. Now what do you mean by horizontal? So horizontal means that if you have the data in this fashion, like this, where your headings are into the row and the values or the resultant values are into the columns. In this case, we will see that say that the data is arranged horizontally. Now, suppose based on the first name, I want to find out the salary. Based on the first name, I want to find out the salary. For this particular case, I cannot use X lookup or lookup. I will have to use H lookup. ठीक है, तो हम एक काम करते हैं, फर्स्ट नेम में से कुछ कॉपी कर लेते हैं, लिखा हमने टेरेंस, और टेरेंस का सैलरी मुझे पता लगाना है, ठीक है। So I just want to find out the salary from this name, ठीक है। Now, how do I find the salary? So for this particular case, I will use H lookup. So is equal to H lookup. Lookup value. The lookup value will be this, comma, table array. In the table array, we will select the table having the first name. So we will ignore the employee ID. We will use this reference as a table, comma, row index number instead of column. Now it is asking row. So which row number has salary? Can you give me in the chat box which row number has salary? It is row number. Which row has salary? 4. 4, not 3. Because we need to include the first name wala row also. So from the first name, it is 4th row. Okay. So 4, comma 0. And here we get the answer. So the salary of Terence is 17 lakh 40, 1,74,683. Okay. This is the answer. Correct. So this is how you use H lookup also. Okay. So this is the lookup functions. Okay. Now there are one more. There is something called as index and match also. Okay. But today we'll not do index and match. Okay. I will just stop this session over here only. Okay, I will record a video for index and match, and I will show you the same database we will use, and you will practice it on your own. Okay, and I will give you the task also relating to lookup functions, so that you can submit by tomorrow 9 o'clock, because we will have one more session tomorrow evening. So before that, you can submit the task. Okay. Any questions, anyone, before we end this session? I hope you all understood about the lookup function. समझ में आया होगा आपको, और काफी important है because this is only a basic understanding I have given you for this lookup function. But these are very this can be used in a different variety. Suppose we have two tables और हमारे पास डेटा एक में नहीं है, दूसरे में हो सकता है, तीसरे में हो सकता है, तो आप मल्टीपल लुकअप के अंदर भी लुकअप लगा सकते हैं. This is all advanced level. So today I wanted to cover only basic part, so I have covered basics. Tomorrow I will cover the advanced functions of lookup. Okay. So any questions? Anyone? Understood. Very good. Okay. So great. Great. So today we'll end up the session here only, and see you tomorrow again at the same time. And I will share the worksheet in the group, in the Excel group, 21 days challenge Excel group, so you can practice.